Somebody who was a first lady said something about you a couple months ago. And I know you have to be very careful when you speak about her, because if you do, you may get a lot of hate, and you're going to get some comments.
I'm going to get hate anyway.
Say some things. But this lady, first lady, Michelle Obama, who was Barack Obama's wife, she had this to say about you a couple months ago. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show host.
Real Housewife.
He would be,
right?
It
would be amazing.
So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just, it's just sociological drama.
Is that Queer Eye for the Straight Guy podcast?
Can you actually respond? What about, guys, listen, we don't want anybody to get in trouble here. Stephen A., can you actually respond to this, or is it better to say next question?
No, I'll respond.
I don't want you to get in trouble here, because, it's like Michelle.
Well,
a really weird view.
As a black man, she's not, the former First Lady is not only someone I respect, I revere. I have a lot of respect for her, and I appreciate who she is and who she has been. Did I like that comment? No, but I wasn't really offended by it, because you're arguing sports or whatever. If anything, we was there to be offended about it. It's like, wait a minute, we talk about 30 basketball teams, 32 football teams, baseball teams, boxing, UFC. That's nothing like the Housewives. I don't know what she's watching. And that's number one. But number two, it gave me an opportunity to direct my attention towards her, because I've only had one issue with Michelle Obama, and that will not change. And if she ever invited me on her podcast, I'd go on just to tell her to her face. I did not appreciate, when they were campaigning for Kamala Harris, how the implication is that there were men that wouldn't want to vote for Kamala because she was a woman. That's ridiculous. Especially when it comes to black men. We not only love women, we revere them. A lot of them have raised us. The respect is profound. So to say something like that about us really bothered me. And for former President Barack Obama to co-sign it by speaking to black men in Pittsburgh and implicating that as well was really ticked me off, because it's false. And I will remind everybody, Hillary Rodham Clinton won a popular vote by 2.9 million over Donald Trump in 2016. Did y'all say that then? Kamala Harris walks around bragging about how she got nearly 75 million votes, which was the most votes any Democratic nominee ever received in American history. Well, if that's the case, which issue is it? Because last time I checked, the governor of New York is a woman. The governor-elect of New Jersey and now Virginia is a woman. Former Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, was a woman, is a woman. So I look at these things and I'm like, where's your evidence? There's no evidence to that. I don't want to hear that. The fact of the matter is that Kamala Harris lost the election because she didn't campaign as well as she should have. And she didn't attack the issues, and she capitulated too much to the extreme left, and ultimately was pushing forth policy and an agenda that most Americans were not vibing with. That is a fact. I think if Michelle Obama ran, she would have won in 2024.
If she would have ran.
I think she would have beat Trump in 2024. I believe that, because I don't believe she would have run a campaign the way Kamala Harris did. I think she would have been talking about safety in streets, affordability, and things of that nature. None of them are going to win with woke culture, cancer culture, and identity politics. None of them are going to win on that, and they shouldn't. I'll vote against them. I'll vote against them, for crying out loud. But I'm telling you, I don't think she would have done that.
But you just said Michelle Obama would have won, but Michelle Obama did identity politics in 2024. What you just explained right now was identity politics.
I believe if she were the candidate, she would have thought better. She was flowing.
Oh, you're thinking she would have taken a different route?
She would have read the room a lot better. And by the way, Kamala Harris is the same person that couldn't make it to the Iowa caucuses in 2019. They didn't want her. They didn't want her in California. They didn't want her for the national.
I'm surprised because she's so attractive. Her voice is like so sexy, and you can like listen to her voice on repeat. It can really excite you. Danny, you look like you want to say something.
I was just looking at that clip, and do you remember how desperately the left during the last election campaign tried too late to chase down the American male, right? And specifically white males, white dudes for Harris and that whole campaign. But that shows how disconnected, and maybe that's a New York bubble or whatever it is that says, I don't get why these guys would sit around and talk about sports. Do they realize that's what most males like to do, that are interested in doing? They clearly are still out of touch with the American male, black or white.
It's a very good point. Very good point. But they are saying that what happened, there's an article that came out, Rob, last week that said the left has done a good job the last few months winning over the young men based on what Mamdani did, because the whole affordability topic has become very important to them, because you have to find a way to get these guys to want to get married, have kids, get a job. They're thinking about that. Adam, you want to say something?
Well, I believe Michelle Obama's hating on Stephen A. Smith because she's jealous of Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, I wouldn't go that.
And I'll tell you why.
That is the most relevant she's been by talking about him.
She didn't leave politics to go start a business, to run for some office.
Adam, don't
she
get Stephen A. in
left
trouble right
politics
now,
to start a podcast. And we just came out with the top 50 people in all of media influencers. Michelle Obama wasn't on the list. Stephen A. Smith was on the list. People in media are on the list because influence, per Tony Robbins, is probably one of the most powerful things you can possibly have. Influence. Influencers get a bad name. But influencers, top media influencers, look at the people on this list. They're influencing culture. They're influencing politics. You're considering running for 2028. You have my vote over Gavin Newsom, that's for sure. But Michelle Obama is almost irrelevant. The death knell to Barack Obama was when he started lambasting black men. Hey, come on, guys, we got to stick together. And black guys are like, no, I'm good. And then voted for Trump. So Michelle Obama and whatever 3 gay guys she's doing a podcast with are irrelevant at this point. So
That guy was gay?
and for that matter, what they forgot to say is whatever.
I thought it was like his...
No.
Yeah.
It was but I do have to
The
put
Democratic Party has a gay problem.
Not enough or too many?
Too many.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I have to disagree with Stephen for a second.
Sure.
And I know you don't give
Don't do it,
about
Vinny.
what I have to say, but I do not think Michelle Obama would have come close to Donald Trump at all. Besides him winning all the swing states, popular vote this time, what the Democrat Party with Joe Biden, and it wasn't Joe Biden, whoever was running the show, destroyed this country so bad. I don't care if Barack came again for the second time. What they did, the people saw what was happening and said, wow, this is why they tried to kill him. This is why they tried to destroy him. This is why they put him in jail. And from the beginning of this podcast to now, all I keep hearing is Democrat this, Democrat that, Gavin Newsom this, taxes. The Democratic Party has nothing, zero to run on. They're frauding the whole freaking country. They're importing votes. And I know we're going to get to it right now with all the Minnesota stuff. They're bringing these people in here. They're letting everybody vote. And then they get mad. When you go, hey, wait a minute. You can't vote. You know what they say? Y'all racist. You're racist if you don't want people to...
Don't get me fired up, Stephen A.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Because all I hear is Democrat.
Listen, I will be the first to tell you. There's a lot of times racism exists and all of that stuff, but there's a lot of times that things ain't about race. It's about somebody not liking your ass. So I will definitely, I will definitely get with you with that, and I understand that part. But to push back on you, when I think about Michelle Obama winning, it's one major reason. I believe there's a lot of women out there who may not have admitted it, but would have went to the polls and voted for her. That's what, and we can't underestimate. Yeah. One thing I don't do is underestimate the power of women. I mean, when you want to be successful at something, you got the women supporting you. That's going to go a long way. I'm not talking about black. I'm talking about women. Period. Across the ethnic gap. I want to say that. But the other thing, when you say the Democrats have nothing to run on, I will say this to you: they actually got something. When you talk about the Affordable Care Act and the subsidies, yeah, the Democrats got a lot to do with that. You know what? It's Obamacare. We get it. Instituted since 2014. Obviously, it cost us a boatload of money. It was supposed to cost about $950 billion. Now it costs nearly $1.5 trillion. Now you look for another $1.5 trillion. I get all of that. But in all of that time, where the hell is the plan from the Republicans? You still don't have a plan to address health care, the subsidies issues, the spike that's scheduled to take place in the new year. You've had ample opportunity to plan and to execute accordingly while you've had control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. And you still haven't done that. And somewhere along the way, people are going to look at you and say, there's a lot of talk and blather going on the left, but it's also going on the right on an issue that you knew you had to address.
But a lot of that affordability comes from opening a border, letting 20 million people come in here, giving them all of our money, giving them all the housing. So of course everything is going to go up.
No, but I'm not debating the cost. I'm saying your plan to address it. The fact that the Republicans don't have a plan is my issue. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's their fault and not the Dems that the prices have elevated. I'm saying somewhere along the way when you're in charge of government and you're bringing attention to all that ails us, you have to have a plan to alleviate and address it. I've interviewed Mike Johnson. I've interviewed Jim Jordan. I've interviewed Chip Roy and the rest of the crew. I've said the same thing to them. Like, where's your plan? Because you are the one in power. Anybody, I can sit here, we can talk about anybody, oh, here's the problems. But at some point in time, you got to talk about what the hell you're going to do about it, particularly when you're in power. And they have not done that.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, I don't think they even want to deal with that because if you remember Trump's first term, the first thing he tried to do was fix Obamacare, not infrastructure, not regulation or anything like that. And it failed dramatically and it sort of torpedoed his first term. I think he's just going to push that to a
But
side.
he didn't have all the power. He got the House and the Senate now.
Now he does. That's my point. And he's still not even dealing with it. Number
Right.
two, Trump is 2-0 against women. I'm just saying that. Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, and he beat a corpse that I fell for, no doubt. But I will say that there is some truth that Michelle Obama is probably more likable than Kamala, and certainly more than Hillary.
No.
What do you mean? Yeah, sorry, Pat.
Sweetheart.
She's more formidable than
of course.
Kamala Harris and Hillary
yes.
Clinton.
All seriousness, she is the most difficult person to ever listen to. You know, I would watch
Kamala?
I would watch Obama on David Letterman. I can watch him for 30 minutes.
Of course.
I can watch him for an hour. I can watch Obama for 2 hours. I cannot watch Kamala for 30 seconds. It's like neurovirus comes in. You want to I don't know if you know the side effects of it. I can't listen to her. So this has got nothing to do. I can actually listen to Hillary for maybe 7 minutes. I can't help myself but listen to Kamala for 30 seconds. I have to run. It's the most incredible feeling just listening to her. Let me tell you what happened the other day. This young guy, I don't know what it's called, mogging, whatever they're talking about with their jaw and what they look like and all this other stuff and how, you know, Americans vote for the way a man looks and, you know, their jaw and all this other stuff, height. And he says, there's no way in the world America's going to vote for J.D. Vance unless if he loses some weight. They said literally he's talking about how Newsom looks presidential. Forget about his policies. He looks presidential. His hair, whatever gel he uses, that should be the sponsor of his podcast. I mean, I'd be making a phone call.
Don't forget the blue suits.
Don't forget the blue suits for sure, the blue suits. And, you know, Vinny does this. Can you do this one thing? Look, if Vinny does it, like, the movement is, like, amazing, right? The shoulder
Because you don't want to see the stuff coming out of his mouth.
You got to give him props.
Wasn't that a big point? Like, since they started televising debates, you started to see the better-looking, taller
That's a good
candidates
point.
start to make moves.
Nixon didn't shave. 4 o'clock, whatever they were talking about, the shave that he didn't shave. And then John F. Kennedy slept in, went to the tanning bed, was well-rested, came in, and then boom, he lost. And, you know, the rest is history. So, yes, I agree. But, Adam, you were saying about the conversation you're having here with Newsom and California. What were your thoughts? Finish your thoughts.
But with Newsom and California?
Yeah.
Well, back to the tax thing?
Yeah.
Well, California's finished. New York is finished. And the future is in now Miami and South Florida and in Texas.
Finished.
I mean, look, guys, there's no guarantee that a city's going to be great forever, right? Hollywood used to be in New Jersey. And then people were like, yeah, we're sick of Thomas Edison running the show. We're going to California. So there's no guarantee that people are going to stay in California. And people don't ask yourself this question. The people that are leaving California, who's going to move to California? Who's going to move to New York at this point?
But
hell to the
Adam,
no.
casual question though, do you want all those people with their same mentality? They're going to bring that voting block and that you want them here?
But
I heard you last week say
that's such a misnomer. And I'll
why
tell
is
you
it a
why.
misnomer?
And I'll tell you why. Because the people that want to leave are fed up with the bullshit.
But they're still
They
going to
say,
vote.
don't California or Florida. Please don't, by the way. When Stephen A. Smith moved here from New York and saved a lot of money in the process, saved that money, you did that with a frame of reference of like, damn, I'm not trying to get taxed. So I assume when you move here, you're going to be like, let me vote for policies that are more congruent with what I want to.
Stephen, but listen, let's just, guys, let's just get that done right here. Stephen A., we have no problem with you running on the Democratic ticket for president.
Yeah.
But over here in Florida, you're a Republican. I just want you to know that over here, when it comes down to it, it's all red.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is purple.
Family's here, so family's upset at me here. All right.
It's okay to be purple.
But Pat, just really fast, do you think those people that would come here are automatically going to be like, I'm voting Republican?
No, they're not. No,
Hell
they're not.
no. What are you talking about?
By the way, he's right. Just so you know, Vinny's right.
Vinny's never been right on any topic ever.
Vinny on this topic, when it comes down to California, there is an entire mindset of people that are thinking California is doing what it's doing because they have so many people that agree with them politically that they can afford to lose people to go to other states to turn the other states into blue states. That's what they're thinking about. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.